Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Reagan with Live 5 News, and today I'm joined by PJ White. She is running on the Republican ticket for the Dorchester County Coroner position. Ms. White, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So first things first, I want people to know your platform right away, just in case they can't sit through the entire interview. So before anything else, give us your platform. Why should people vote for you?
They should vote for me because I am the right person for this position. With my experience and my education with 20 plus years as a registered nurse and having my master's in science with a emphasis in forensic science. I also am looking to start a training program, establish a training program to decrease the turnover rate within the coroner's office, as well as possibly establish an awareness education program for our youth in the community for the drug overdose deaths that we seem to be having an epidemic with.
So you talk a little bit about your background as a former deputy coroner in Dorchester County, also as a nurse. Can you talk to me a little bit about how those two positions in particular have informed your decision making when it comes to the coroner position?
So actually, being the coroner has been a dream job of mine as far back as I can remember. Right after high school, I went and worked for EMS, furthered my education in that program, then into nursing, and then with the coroner's program after I obtained that position. And I knew right away that I was probably going to be doing what I'm doing right now. And in order to do that, I wanted to better myself to be able to provide the best for the citizens of Dorchester County. My medical education allows me to be able to offer and determine the appropriate cause and manner of death with the investigation of medical records and medications and diagnoses of the deceased.
Yeah, now coroners I find are often very passionate about their jobs. What makes you so passionate about wanting to be the next coroner in Dorchester County?
Like I said, when I worked there, I saw a need to increase the education of the public as to what the coroner actually does. Having gone through my dad dying with hospice and then my mom dying in hospital, it just increased my awareness of the lack of education that's out there of what happens when somebody dies unexpectedly, even expectedly, the process that you have to go through afterwards, which is something that the coroners can be involved in and is involved in, and to increase the education of the families and help them through that process afterwards.
Sure. So you've already mentioned that you wanted to start that training program. How could you get that done?
Well, when I started into the coroner's office as a deputy coroner, just because I wanted to provide myself with information, there is an online program. It's through the Death Investigation Academy. You can sign up and take little 30-minute, 45-minute classes that give you some really in-depth information on, walking into a scene, investigating the scene, and then, investigating MVAs, motor vehicle accidents, and such like that. It's just, and I think those should be some of the things that new deputy coroners coming into the department should have experience. They should be able to go to those things provided for them to be able to get that foothold into what they're going to be doing as a deputy coroner.
Okay, so you've worked under the current coroner, correct?
Yes, sir.
So tell me why, or perhaps since you've been able to observe his leadership skills, his organizational skills, why are you more prepared to take over his position right now?
So Paul right now sees his position as purely an administrative position. And while I think there is a lot of administration that has to take place in that position, I also think that you need to be a team player when you're in that position. You have to be willing to go out on calls, take call when needed, aid your chief deputy coroner or your training officer in training new deputy coroners when they come to work to lighten the load for whoever's responsible for that training right now. Right now, it happens to be the chief deputy coroner. And on top of her other job skills, as far as the deputy coroner, I think it's just an overload on one person.
What's sort of the number one issue? And it maybe sounds like it could be training, but what's the number one issue that's facing the coroner's office, and how would you address it?
I would think the number one issue is turnover. In the last almost 8 years, there's 6 people that work in that office, including the coroner and a secretary. And in the last 8 years, there's been 10 people come and go. Every position in that office has changed with the exception of the coroner. And I believe that's partly leadership, and I believe it's partly the lack of training that's available for them. It's a hard position, and that's but when you look at other counties, surrounding counties that are much larger than ours and have many more employees, and you have people that are retiring from those departments, I just think it's significant at the turnover. And I think it comes down to, providing leadership and teamwork and education.
Let's say you manage to get elected and you put your plans into action. What do you want your legacy at the coroner's office to be? When people look back from 10 years, what do you want them to say PJ White accomplished here?
That I accomplished what I'm setting out to do, and increasing the education for the deputy coroners as well as the community, the people in Dorchester County, so that they will know and understand what the coroner's responsibility is. And also that I really want to be able to bring a sense of comfort and relief to those people who, come in contact with a coroner in their darkest moments.
All right. Well, what have I not asked you about? What did you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
Just that I'm really, you said you have to be, compassionate or passionate about, I'm very passionate about becoming the next coroner, and that I know I am the right person for this position, and it's the right time, and these are all my right reasons for being the next coroner for Dorchester County. I just want to be able to provide the citizens of Dorchester County with a coroner that has a background in being able to determine a proper cause and manner of death without any delays as far as having to research stuff. I'm a good resource, and I'd be a great asset to the deputy coroners that are already there, for them to be able to come to and get information.
All right. Well, again, PJ White running in the Republican primary in that Dorchester County coroner race. So, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.